Episode of TheSculpt, Unscripted. And as we go along, we find that it is very unscripted indeed. Yes. So this is my friend and also my hypnotherapist, Tara O'Neill. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm happy to be here.
Great.
Excited.
Yes, thank you for coming on, taking the time. Yes. So I wanted to talk about how we met.
Yeah.
Because it is a wild story, actually. Well, not that wild. Wild for me. I met you at a time when, I was pretty in, a weird phase in my life. I had, all these crazy things happening, all at once.
Yeah.
I felt, very betrayed, basically, by very key, major players in my life. Family members, other people.
Yeah.
And I was just going through a lot of, life changes.
Mm-hmm.
Basically had tried everything to relieve my anxiety. I was honestly, and I'll share this with the audience, I was at a point where I really was having trouble getting out of bed every day. And I was doing the basic life functions, showing up at work and looking like I was fine.
Yeah.
But then I would go home and I was not okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I had met you here at where I work. We actually have dual offices that mirror each other. Yes, we're neighbors. And Tara's a hypnotherapist, and I was like, well, you know what? F it. I'll try that. So I did, and honestly, this woman healed my nervous system, you guys. And so I just wanted to put you on and have you talk about what you do first. We'll get into some other really cool topics also. But tell us about hypnotherapy. Well, first of all, introduce yourself.
Absolutely.
And then maybe we'll get into that a little bit and just tell us about what hypnotherapy is and how it can heal people and all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I'm Tara, and I have an office right here. I was born and raised here, but I spent the last 6 years or so out in California, and I had gone through a lot of life changes, and I really, we can go back to that later, but really took a lot of courses, a lot of classes, went to hypnotherapy school. I was a school teacher, before that. Mm-hmm. for many, many years, and I, life change, traveled the world, wanted to go down the spiritual path. I did a lot of yoga, wanted to learn all the different types of meditation. But what I found was I wanted to teach meditation here. And I found people were, not that they weren't interested, they were interested. They didn't have the time or the resources or the patience. And that's no judgment. I mean, we're just raised and conditioned a certain way, and that does not include taking care of our inner world at all, right?
Yeah. Well, it's when you teach a yoga or a fitness class, sometimes people will get up and leave when it's time for Shavasana, right? It's people are well, I just did my workout, but now I gotta go. It's they don't take the time to heal their nervous system or take the time to do
absolutely
the other restorative work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so you think of it like showering, you wouldn't not cleanse your body, but when we talk about the mind, meditation is showering the mind.
Right.
So, the fact that we don't have very many tools that we're taught, throughout our formative years, really, how to clear that out, it builds up, and it's frustrating in a lot of ways. But ultimately, synchronicity, right?
Yeah.
I would say divine timing, but I will try to keep the magical thinking to a minimum for now.
Right.
So synchronicity took me to LA, and I had the most amazing teachers, and they taught me life-changing perspectives and modalities, and I had already tried what I thought was everything to heal. And we say heal, obviously in the healing world it means something a little bit different than if you're healing from a broken wound, right?
Right.
We could say more evolve, grow, expand. So when I say heal, I often mean both, right?
Right.
We're maybe moving through the past stuff, but we're also creating what's next and learning to live in the now.
Right.
So I loved being a teacher so much, but I, as a manifesting generator, will probably have a dozen careers, right? And we'll talk about what manifesting generator means later on, but I just was at my capacity, and I knew, like, I can't really take the credit. Like, the universe was just poking and poking, and finally it, like, ripped the rug out from underneath, and it was like, no, you need to go this way.
Right.
And so everything aligned, like, in an eerie way, where I moved down to San Diego, and someone contacted me and gave me, their clients, and it just worked, and it happened, and I loved it from day one. So I will attempt to define it, but it is a bit of a, I don't say complicated aspect of the mind to explain, but it's so subjective, right? So let's think of hypnosis as a trance, right? And a trance is just a focused state of attention. So if you've ever driven home from work and you don't remember the drive, and you're like, where was I? You're just kind of like zoned out. Well, you were in a trance, right? If you're watching TV and somebody calls your name, like, you can probably hear it, but you're just in a trance. So we're in a trance throughout the day, all the time. And so hypnosis, or let me say, hypnotherapy is hypnosis being used therapeutically to improve someone's well-being. Okay, so I call it hypnotherapy, but you could call it hypnosis. But often hypnosis has this idea that it's entertainment or mind control, or you're gonna bark like a dog, those kinds of,
see it like
something like super like silly. And it's not, right? It is utilized to get people into a trance, right? But they're doing it, right? So I'm working with them, but they're on their own free will. They want to be doing this, and I'm teaching them how to get into that state so they can do that at home themselves, right? So I'm not doing anything to them per se, right? But obviously I'm helping facilitate the process. I'm helping to teach them, and the level of depth doesn't matter for the most part, when we're talking about the kind of work that I do. So some people will say, oh, I can't be hypnotized. And when we look at it from a brainwave state, that's impossible, right? Because if it's an alpha to theta brainwave state, we can all potentially get to those. Right. Though there are people that are much more susceptible. They say about 33% are very highly susceptible, 33% regular, and then 33% are super resistant. So maybe that resistant person does not. And it's interesting because what I would come to learn in human design is people with a defined head and ajna will often be more difficult to hypnotize based on the workings of their energy, their design, their centers, their channels, all the things. So ultimately, when we're in that state of trance, our analytical, logical mind can step to the side, right? So all those doubts, all that inner critic narrative, that can quiet down, and we can get into, you could say, super conscious, our true self, our higher self, or you could just say subconscious. But that's where, if you're in an alpha theta state, those it's so much faster for the neuroplasticity to work in that state, as opposed to a beta, where you would have to repeat an affirmation or repeat something so many times. So it's like affirmations on steroids to an extent. But I'll stop there for now, but that's about 5% of it, right? There's so many things that we can do with it. But ultimately, step one is getting the nervous system relaxed. So when the mind quiets, the body will follow. When the body relaxes, the mind will quiet. And what we're doing is we're teaching that person how to get into that state.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they've never been there before.
Yeah.
And they will get out of hypnosis and not even want to drive home because they're so relaxed.
Yeah. I remember one of the most profound things I think you said to me in one of our sessions. It's one of the things I liked the most that you said to me once was when I was under, and you can come out at any time.
Yeah, right. And
you
it's
can wake
not
up
like
whenever you want.
you're not like out. Like
Yeah.
it's a wave, right?
Yeah.
You're like in and out.
You're in and out. Sometimes you kind of feel like your arms could like
Mhm.
float away, but you could still bring yourself back whenever you
Right,
want.
exactly.
But you said when I was under, this is the state where you're kind of like between dreaming and awake, and it's when you can feel most connected to your soul, like most connected to your higher self, and that's when you can kind of connect to that higher self, so that you can really feel that real healing happen.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
I love that.
If
Mm-hmm.
you've ever had that state when you first wake up in the morning, like before you think of what you have to do, almost even before you are identifying with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you're just you're in this like beautiful space.
Yeah.
It might only be a few seconds, but if you practice just
Yeah.
before you even open your eyes, like just feeling like your essence.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That is ultimately what we want.
Right.
Because in our culture, our consciousness is generally in our head, and that's not in every culture. Many other cultures are much more heart centered. Some are even solar plexus centered. So yeah, I think once we realize that we have the potential to shift where our consciousness is heavily, it is so empowering. It's life changing.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think another thing about it, because I've done a lot of sessions with you, and not that I'm like trained now, but like
no, but I mean, you had greased the wheels.
Yeah, but what's interesting now is when you do find yourself going between that state between dream and awake, almost having like a little bit more control when you're there. Like when you do wake up early in the morning and you are sort of between that state between dream and awake, sort of knowing that you're there. And kind of identifying what your soul is seeing, what your soul is doing, and it's almost like you're in your mind. You're exploring the deeper parts of your mind.
Yes.
And I feel like it's just very, very interesting, And another thing you said to me once was, some people heal with breath work, and some people heal with this type of meditation or that. But sometimes hypnotherapy works on other people because the healing can happen when you're sleeping.
Oh, absolutely.
And that helps people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And a suggestion that I'll often give people is you'll continue to process this in your sleep tonight. Yeah. Right? And that is very powerful because I don't believe that we have to reenact or re-experience our prior injuries or traumas in life. Yeah. At least for the most part, right? There will be oftentimes clients will leave and they will, have an emotional release, but no story behind it, and that's beautiful because they don't need to necessarily re-experience it. Now that's not always, but I do find for a lot of it, like, let's clear out all the stuff you don't have to. Like, I don't say easier stuff, but more of the surface stuff before we get to some of the heavier patterns or habits that, that are really ingrained in us. Yeah. But, yeah, it's, also, it could be pre-verbal, like, if we don't have a story attached to it. Right. But, yeah, there's so many different layers to it. And that's, interesting if we want to jump to manifestation, because a lot of times they say visualize. Right. But if you're visualizing or just thinking in a beta brainwave state, it's not the same as if you're in that dreamlike state. And a lot of people that are on, a bit of a spiritual path will try to lucid dream or astral project or, have control in that world. And there can be a lot of benefits. Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, one of the sessions we did, we were walking through like a state, and I saw a bunch of those like yellow canaries, remember? Yeah, and then a few days later, that yellow feather showed up on my doorstep. I mean, that never happened before. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. Yeah. She has the most amazing sessions. I'm like, I want to go there. That sounds fantastic. Yeah. And then another day, like that
that same week I was on a walk and all of a sudden a bunch of the canaries were like all around me. That was weird.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Carl Jung, and he talks about synchronicity. And he's respected, right? Because there's a lot of woo out there that it's good, it's great. I mean, I enjoy even hearing it talking about it, but sometimes it can be misleading. Right. But synchronicity is real.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Before we dive more into that, just to conclude this a little bit, I think over time, just from my experience, like I did slowly start to notice, like I think that I did heal a lot in my sleep, and just like slowly over time, I felt less and less and less anxiety. Like, and the things that I was going through, like the people in my life that were causing me that anxiety, they still existed. I think this is important to point out.
Yes, I love this.
These people still exist. And they still act like trifling fools.
Right.
Yeah. They still act the way that they act, and you understand because she and I kind of live like parallel lives. We have like very similar characters in our lives. So like someone in particular in my life still pokes me sometimes, but it's like, you just come to the realization that like, okay, well, these people or these anxieties or these situations some of them are solvable, but some of them might be fixed and ongoing, and like you can't really do a lot about it.
Absolutely.
So, you have to just continue to live your life.
Yeah.
Like, so.
And there's twofold to it, right? So, one, everyone is going to benefit with hypnotherapy in terms of helping it regulate your nervous system.
Yeah, that's
right.
What I'm
So
saying.
you're going to, I would say let's just say 90% of Americans, people in the West, are higher than a ideal baseline. Their nervous system is in a mild fight or flight, or too frequently in that.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a whole other episode as to why. But ultimately, each week we go down a little bit more, and then when you're listening to the recording, that as well. And so ultimately one day you are, you find yourself, so it's subtle, but you find yourself like, oh my gosh, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? Like I couldn't care less. Like somebody, cuts you off, and it's like, whatever. Like that, so that's gonna happen almost as a side effect.
Yeah.
Right? So we're doing which is going to be great. It's going to help your sleep. It's going to help your stress, your hormones, all the things.
Yeah.
But ultimately, there are many different aspects that are happening. So we'll also be very personalized and situational to what you're experiencing.
Right.
Right? And so you'll be able to see how it's not about you.
Right.
Right? Or how it is about you. Right, and not about them, and vice versa. Like we're able to more easily get a different perspective on it, and we can see things from a different vantage point. Like it's like you get on, you move up a higher level in terms of the way that you can see the world and yourself. Yeah. And once you do, you can't ever unsee it. So it's nice in many ways, but it's also a lot. Like it's a huge shift in your life. Like I said, I know you were ready. I mean, almost everyone that comes is ultimately ready. They've done inner work on themselves. But it's interesting. I do have to say, I never would have thought you had anxiety, and like you always,
I get up in front of people.
She has a delightful energy and that and I not maybe as quite as sensitive as you, but I feel energies, and she was always had a loving energy even when she was having anxiety. So I didn't know that it was that level. And that's and one of the reasons why I want to say that is just because you might not have anxiety where you're having a panic attack or you're shaking or you're freaking out does not mean you don't have anxiety. Yeah. It manifests in so many different ways, for sure. Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, yes, you were definitely ready, but, sometimes we just need that person to hold space and to, bounce off, different possibilities and get different insight. So
yeah,
I think you were absolutely, and it's not just one area of your life, right? Like you'll always have that. Like you'll meet, like we're gonna meet difficult people throughout our life, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The world is always gonna be a little bit of a shit show, right? So instead of fixing out there, we're fixing in here, right? That's so much easier.
Yeah, because you're the vessel. You have to keep going.
Yes.
You know, you're always going to find yourself in the next phase of your life. So you have to be internally okay to deal with.
Yeah. No, I absolutely. And it's kind of like, why bother? Like, what good is us being triggered and stressed and unhappy doing? Right? Like, is it? And I'm not even like trying to be a smart ass, but it's like, is it effective? Right? I'll often ask clients, like, is it working for you? And I'm not trying to be like flip. I'm just saying, like, tell me if it is working, because usually it's not, but there could have been some time as a child that it did, right? Yeah. But that could have also been 50 years ago for some people.
Yes.
So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's talk about maybe, so in my human design chart, right, and I mentioned this on the first episode, so Tara does human design, and each person, it's not like astrology, it's something different. Each person has their own chart, and it's sort of like the way that we're supposed to live our lives. And I was just thinking that would be great to get into next, because apparently I absorb other people's emotions.
Yes, absolutely. Right. Yeah. And like, that, but it would be nice to like have a system that's like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, like, this is what I've been feeling for the last 3 decades. So, I have explored a lot of different divination tools. I never got too into astrology because in my mind, it was like frustrating that I couldn't get the perfect system. And like the fact that there were a few different systems, it was
and astrology is like very deep.
So I just made, and I do like it, and I get it, like, and I'll play with it, but what I love about the human design, which is based on a few different divination tools, I guess you could say, the I Ching, the Kabbalah, the chakra system, there's even some quantum physics in there, and then astrology. So the Ra, he was the one that downloaded this, or created it, or founded it over a week span, and it's relatively new. Because when I found this, I was like, why isn't everybody like studying this?
Yeah,
like,
it's very interesting.
Why is this not more popular?
Yeah, and he claims that he got this message like from God, that he was supposed to like study this and spread the word about it. Yeah, basically.
He was like a corporate guy. He was not into this at all. Like he didn't want any part of spirituality, right? Which I kind of respected even more because he wasn't trying. Yeah. Like he wasn't trying. Some people like want so badly to like they hold on and it's like blocks the flow. Yeah. So he created this system, or God, universe, source, and it is based not only on the exact time you were born, but also 3 months prior. Okay. When I suppose in utero is when we become conscious.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So that right off the bat was intriguing to me. So he combines those 2 aspects. And then there's 5 different types of humans, right? So obviously we all don't want to be the same. Like we want to work together. We're tribal. Yeah. By nature. So we each have a different responsibility or a different role. And there's manifestor, generator, manifesting generator, projector, and reflector. And so we won't go into all of them right now, but all of them are the same. Right, one is not better than the other. I really do believe that, because they all have like their quirks and their pros and cons, so to speak. Yeah. Because people are like, because reflectors, for example, there's only 1% of humanity that are reflectors.
That's interesting. Only 1% of the world population is a reflector, and so that would be like the Buddhist monks, like so
if like people are like, oh my gosh, I want to be a reflector, and it's like, maybe not in the modern
Yeah.
Western world in
Yeah.
2026. Yeah, it would be a lot because they don't have any defined centers. So
Okay.
if you know anything about the chakra system, it's like that, but instead of 7, there's 9 because he split the heart and he split the solar plexus into 2.
Okay.
So all of them are open, and so if they're all open, that means you don't necessarily have consistent energy of your own, right?
Okay.
So everything is sampling off of other people, and that can be exhausting, right?
Yeah.
And it can be draining, it can be confusing. It could also be amazing if you're with someone that's enlightened, right? You will feel all the good stuff. So Sandra Bullock, that's someone that's a reflector.
She is?
Yes,
oh, cool.
because I remember when I was taking one of the classes, I think it was with Quantum Human Design, Dr. Karen. So she's like, she was kind of getting frustrated with it. She's like, reflectors don't need to live in a bubble. Like, you can do things, right? You can go out into the world. And she's like, look at, So, like, I might embellish certain things, but again, there's no right or wrong. And also another good thing to point out is this is when you're not conditioned, right? So ultimately, people are not living their design because we're going off of, decades of conditioning and programming and socialization.
Right,
so
and people don't know about
we're
this.
not our like natural self per se.
Right.
So so there's a lot of variables, but so I had a feeling that you and I were similar, and
Yes, we are.
yes. And I was just refreshing my memory. You have 7 channels. That's a lot.
Okay.
I didn't realize. I mean, I knew you had a lot. I just didn't know. So that means you have a lot of consistent energy. So we're independent. So you're a generator. I'm a manifesting generator, but Ra calls manifesting generators also generators. They have their own life force energy, so they can plug in. They can recharge. Yeah. Right. Some people
create our own energy.
Some people don't have that. Right. And we also have the sacral, which basically is I don't know what I would do without it.
Right. Like life source.
It shows me everywhere to go in life. And
that's like your gut instinct.
Yes.
So
the sacral or sacral, I think they might call it in human design, is where it would be in yoga, above the root, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so that's where your intuition is, but it's not like typical intuition, right? And there's a lot of different ways to explain intuition, but it's a knowing before knowing. And one of your channels actually you have 3 or 4 channels that say that you have that ability to know before it actually comes into fruition.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned on a recent podcast that you can walk into a room and you know something. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, that's my most important gift, it says, that like, reading the room. Yeah.
Yes. However, I would take it a step further and say that even a few seconds before something is going to happen.
Yes, sometimes that does happen. Like something I can like picture something in my mind happening, and then all of a sudden it does happen. Like a few seconds later. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
or something will pop into my head, and it's like someone's gonna call me or like something like that, and it's like a do call. Yeah. Or stuff like that happens a lot actually. Yeah. So not like a psychic, but like.
Okay. So we're all a little psychic, right? And so. That's also psychic's also a broad term, right? Because all psychics are slightly different in the way that they perceive things, right? So it's not like vision per se, right? There might be 10 different visions for psychic abilities, and we all have the potential to learn how to do it. And I think they say most children before 6 have these abilities. Like the ability to even see like through the veil and So you have a lot of definition, which means you have consistent energy, and you can do things on your own. You're not easily, necessarily swayed. But the issue that we run into, because we both have these three open, is we have the open head, the open ajna, and the open solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great because we're open-minded. However, we don't have a set template. So we could be very open-minded, but it's also challenging to repeat things, right? So there's like no 2 days that are the same. Because we're not living off of a template or very, very strong belief system.
Okay.
So, I find it can be frustrating at times, right?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
And so it's wonderful, but it's often hard for me to understand people that can't see things differently. And so I always have to work on that, like, and be more considerate. Like, they don't understand me, and I might not understand them, but I'm trying. They're not necessarily trying.
Right.
So that's where sometimes it can get frustrating.
Definitely.
And I think that's also a very empath
Definitely.
situation. A lot of my clients will be frustrated with that. Like, they try so hard
to understand other people.
Like, they take the time to learn about their psychology, their quirks, their background, their personality, and other people don't necessarily take that time for them.
Yeah, I think I say this to you all the time when we get together. Like, I'm trying so hard to like do this and like understand, and like this person just doesn't get it. And it's like, that's very frustrating to me, because I care so much, and some people honestly just don't care, and it's just in their chart.
I mean, I go from like
sort of.
Yeah. I was telling somebody yesterday that like I don't believe people have much free will at all if they're unconscious, because they're just going off of what was programmed, right? They're not making like a soul choice.
Right.
So yes, I do think that a lot of it is. However, I do have clients that are defined in the head and ajna, and they're so cute. They're like, so you know what other people are thinking, and it's like, I mean, like maybe not verbatim, but yeah.
Yeah, you can tell.
Right. Yeah. But when you've grown up that way, you don't think of it as a skill, right? Like I just know.
Right.
And so so she's like, well, all right, can you teach me? And I'm like, she's not supposed to. It's not in her chart. Right. That's not part of who she's supposed to be. Strong-willed, and stick to her ethics and what she feels is right, and all about justice.
Okay.
Whereas I care. Like, I'm a humanitarian. I don't want anyone to suffer, but I couldn't care less about being swayed one way or the other, because that it doesn't. I don't say it doesn't matter to me, because that sounds like really rude.
It's not necessarily your job.
No, it's not my place in the world to directly serve others. Right.
And I said job just because it sort of relates to astrology. Like, each planet has a job.
Yeah.
And the job is like, sort of like a personality trait. Like, for example, a Gemini always gets a bad rap because people think that they like to gossip, but actually a Gemini's planet assignment is their job is to spread information.
Okay.
So
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And each sign has a planet, and each planet has like a job. So it's kind of similar-esque in human design, where what you just said, it's like, it's not in your chart, so it's not your job necessarily. It's not part of how you're supposed to live your life with your human design.
Yes.
That's all.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And then that was one thing that I also realized when Asia read my chart. I'd never had an astrology reading, because I also feel as though I know myself pretty well. There isn't someone that could tell me about me. Right? But that's also not how other people work. Like, they want insight from external sources. Another thing is, some people, in order to make a decision, like, I don't consult anyone. Like, I don't ask, you know, for advice or suggestions. I just do it, right? Because I'm certain it's not up for discussion.
You have that signal,
I have
you have the knowing.
It's a hell yes, right? So it's not even a decision or choice per se. It's just, okay, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
There are people that have to talk it out, and that's part of their design. And so I, like, was annoyed at one point in my life by certain people that had to talk out every decision.
Yeah.
And I'm just, like, in my mind, I'm like, you just made this decision like 2 days ago. Like, it shouldn't really be coming up again, right? Like, I had no context for it. And also, like, I would be like, well, why, you don't want my advice? Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you do what's good for you. But they don't know, right, until they talk it out. So maybe they just need the sounding board, or they do need a little bit of a guidance. But it's, so it is so helpful in being compassionate to how different other people's brains and systems work. And also, you know, so we'll get back, we will get to the sensitive part, but I'm finding less and less do I tune in. Like, I naturally will know because of my chart, my astrology chart. I realized I had a lot of I have a heavy chart, a lot of Scorpio, a lot of 12th house, like a lot of, you know, underworld, a lot of intuition. So, you know, it's I'm not some freak of nature in that way. Like, why, you know, right? It made sense. So just because you can doesn't mean you have to, right? So maybe I was a bit hyper vigilant as a child, and so I knew all the idiosyncrasies of people, like why they made a certain facial expression, why they rolled their eyes, why they talked about certain things or looked a certain way. And when you study NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, it's supported, right? I just was able to now name the things that I was doing, right? Energetically. But I can shut that off a lot more easily. Or I could say I'm not afraid of it, right? Like, if there's somebody in the store that's, like, rowdy and yelling, like, I'm not, you know, my nervous system is not worried. I'm not phased at all. Where in the past I would have been, like,
freaking out.
Why is he, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Like, you know, that kind of a thing. So I do think there's a lot of, like, the more we heal, in some ways we become more intuitive, and in others we realize we don't need to be so sensitive all of the time. Right? Because that's exhausting.
So exhausting. Right? It's exhausting being so apologetic all the time, too, you know?
Right, absolutely. And that's the thing, it's like, I didn't do it, like, my new thing is, like, I didn't do it on purpose, right? Like, because as women, too, we're also conditioned to say sorry. Right? Like, somebody bumps into us, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, right?
But I actually had somebody in class the other night that was like, I put them on certain spring settings, and this person kept, like, adding another one on just to make it heavier, and, like, you know, that's potentially, like, dangerous, and they were kind of, like, doing it behind my back, and, like, I kind of had to be like, okay, stop doing that, you know? And he was like, well, I just, like, want to make it heavier, and I was just like, well, you're not in control of the machine. And, like,
absolutely.
And we kind of had, like, a little tiff, like, in front of the class, and it was just like, you know, but, like, I was not apologetic about it, like, you know, because it's like, I don't want you to get hurt, and, like, like, the old me would have been worried that he was going to get mad at me. But the new me was like, I don't care.
Absolutely.
If you get mad at me, you can leave.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Like, so, yeah, it's just, you know, you go through these, like, phases in your life where it's like you learn.
Like,
not care anymore.
Right. and you know, I have such a similar.
We made up, by the way.
Right. Well, and that's like men,
you know.
men do that all the time. I feel like women may hold grudges longer. Like, and sometimes men can just, like, you know, punch each other and, like, oh, we're good. But no, I have also been doing that in a way, like, with my confrontation, and I tell my clients sometimes that are working through this, the people pleasing, start disappointing people.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
You know, because you're not responsible for the way that they respond. You're not responsible for their feelings, for their actions, for the way that they are.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, I'm not saying be rude or, you know, harmful or hurtful.
Right.
But
just stand up for yourself.
Stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And it can be matter of fact. Like, it can be neutral.
Just very
right? Like,
cut and dry.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
that's it.
Cut and dry. And
right?
I think people also try to take advantage of you, you know, a lot of the time, and are trying to get one over on you. And if you don't stand up for yourself, they'll learn that they can get one over on you. And they'll just keep doing it, you know?
Absolutely.
So, you know, there comes a time in your life where, you know, you have to just put your anxiety aside, stand up for yourself, and oftentimes, like, that person that was trying to get one over on you, that might change your relationship. Like, they might end up having more respect for you.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a lesson for both parties.
Right.
And I say, you know, make sure that you check and see that you're not justifying, over-explaining, or there's one other one, but like we don't want to have to give a reason all the time, right? Like you
need to explain yourself.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Right? And
yeah.
so, you know, a lot of times you can just say no.
Yeah. Boundaries.
Yeah, it's like I, you know, even something like I want to reschedule the appointment. That's it.
Right.
Like, you know, if you're calling a doctor's office, they don't need to know that, you know, you have to pick up your child and, you know, take them to the dentist. Like, just we're afraid of getting in trouble.
Yeah,
we're afraid of getting in trouble.
And what is that?
We're afraid of being rejected, of, you know, being dismissed, of negative feelings, right?
Yeah.
We're afraid of a feeling, right? So we have done a workaround, and we have, you know, we manipulate reality, but I think a lot of that's out of habit. And if you think in term for women, like a lot of times in the past, you know, they were, if we were talking survival, they were not going to win in a fight, right?
Right.
And maybe they couldn't flight, right? So there's also freeze where you just stay, but there's fawn. So what fawn is keep that man happy. So he's gonna treat you well and take care of you.
Right.
Right. So we did this for generations, right?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, you know, go sit on Uncle Harry's lap and, you know, cheer him up, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, that kind of a thing.
Sure.
And it's like, no, you don't have to make anyone happy.
Yeah.
If it means compromising who you are and what you want. Mm-hmm. So I think, and then there's also the spiritual bypass part too,
right?
And I think that's a big thing that, you know, we don't talk about enough is we're not doing the inner work, and we have to heal our wounded ego,
right,
in order to transcend it, right? So you can go to the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs and experience individuation, self-realization, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, but you got to go back to the bottom and work your way up, right? And that means healing your wounds and your childhood.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You know, a lot of traditions will do it a different way, but the way that I find works is through the subconscious.
Yeah, and I think a lot of therapy methods will go back to like, oh, well, what was your childhood like? You know, because like a lot of that stuff comes out like when you're an adult. You know,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then the thing people are like, why, like, don't live in the past or don't dwell on the past. If you are, there's a reason, right? The mind is so smart. You know, the wisdom of our body and mind is so amazing when it's given the right tools, right? It's trying to purge the old stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So we talk about anxiety and overthinking, but there's always a reason, right? It's often, you know, if we're overthinking, we don't want to feel something, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be in our head because there's some grief in our body.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot. So we want to get back into our body so we can start to listen to it, because half of people have the soul, the sacral defined.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how wonderful is that? Like, you never have to worry about making a wrong decision.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like, it's also not prophetic where, you know, you can't ask it, like, you know, what's my retirement look like, right? You know, because it's present. It's in this moment.
Okay.
So when you're in your head, you're not present. You're not in your body. You're getting mixed messages from your sacral. So why it's so important? Like, you know, why do we do all this crap, Amanda? Like, why?
Yeah.
Because we want to be present. We want to be in the now.
Right.
Because when we're in the now, our system is regulated. The prana, energy, chi, life force, whatever it is, flows, and we're living our true self. Consciousness is, you know, experiencing itself through us, and that to me is the goal. I mean, I can't say for all of humanity, but definitely for me and many people on this path.
Yeah. Yeah, and you want to feel happy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's happy. It's like happy is not a cause of exterior events or people or situations.
Right.
Right. It's just not.
It's within yourself.
Yes.
Right.
It's how the mirror of the world is being reflected back, and if your energy is distorted, that image is going to be distorted.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I've said this to someone over and over and over again. Like, I don't care about like this or that or the other thing. Like, I could live here or I could live there. I could do this. I could do that. Like, I just want to be happy. I want to be spoken to nicely. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think time and time again, especially people that are well off, will say, money didn't buy me happiness.
Yeah, no.
And, you know, achievement didn't fix it, right? Yeah. You hear of, you know, the millionaires and CEOs that go to the Himalayas and, you know, become enlightened, but they start their path, right? They shed.
Right.
But you don't see a whole lot of monks coming and training with Fortune 500 CEOs, right?
Yeah,
because it's just, maybe it is our path to live in this matrix and learn all these lessons. I don't know. But I try not to stress about it too much because you can go crazy.
It's interesting, right? It's like, is this a game?
Yeah.
Like is
are
Earth
we
a game?
Yeah.
And it's like, are the human design charts just like, you know, here's yours.
Even that, right? Absolutely. Even down to the astrology.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, when I was first having a lot of these revelations, I'm like, wait, so are the planets inside of my body? Like, how is this working, right? Like, if everything is within us, like, how is all the external world representing, you know, within me? Is that, like, all my psyche? Like, is it the body? And so there's a lot of elements. But what I do love, circling back to the human design, what I do love is it's a system, it's organized, and it doesn't need to be perfect, but you can see rhymes and reasons for why you do things, right? So my biggest thing is patterns. That's what we need to recognize, because that's where we fall back into these behaviors, these habits, right? What's the pattern that is reoccurring over and over again?
Right, exactly. Yeah, because you could be in like different phases of your life and the same pattern could be happening over and over. And it's like, I heard this quote once, like, the universe will keep sending you the same lesson until it is learned. Over and over and over again.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
in this life.
Yes.
Or the next life. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
it's and there's the wherever you go, there you are too. Like, I've tried running far away. You know, if it doesn't work, you're still there.
Back here.
You will meet that person, you know, across the country, right? Because we want to heal. Like, we want to have a corrective experience. We want to, you know, finish our karma or work through these things. So it doesn't matter where you are or what time of your life it is. Though, at the same time, you don't need to spend your life trying to fix it or be perfect. Like, I've definitely fallen into that trap before where I'm like, why is this happening again? Why is this same cycle coming up? And then I started kind of laughing about it, and I'm like, well, maybe on the 101st time it'll be different.
Yeah,
you know?
like I'll
so
find some other detail.
maybe I'm not supposed to know yet.
Right.
I don't know. Like, so yes, being aware of it's really helpful, and, like, you know, doing a bit of inner, like, navigating and questioning. But I also think, you know, I personally could bang my head against the wall a lot.
Yeah.
And that's, again, back to human design, is when you have those open centers, you're never going to have resolution or satisfaction.
Right.
So, you know, you just want to be careful that you don't go down, like, you know, it's safe to go down a rabbit hole, but, like, be careful you don't get stuck there for, like, a month.
Right. Yes. Yeah, it's okay to take your hands off the wheel and just live your life.
Been there, right.
Yeah.
Because, again, back to that feeling of satisfaction, you know, we don't necessarily get that the same way other people might.
Right.
Like, contentment might feel different for us, right? So,
right.
You know, like, especially with the sacral energy, how we respond to life, we should never make decisions with our mind. So, and the emotional part. So that was the other thing we were going to get into. So some people are totally okay to make logical decisions, but when we do, bad things will happen.
Yeah. We have to go on, like, does this feel right in my body?
Absolutely. I mean, we can do research and we can obviously, navigate using our mind. But when we're in these, should I do this or should I do that? Should I do this or should I do that? Like, you're in your head and that's not the time to make a choice. So then you got to kind of, maybe take a couple of days and, go back. But usually, once you get into the flow, like, and I know when I'm also not, right? Like, I moved back to New Jersey, over a year ago, and for a little while I just stopped because I was afraid that the universe was going to tell me to go travel, and I was like, I'm so tired, I just want to take a break. So
it's okay to take a break.
And that's the thing, is you can still listen to it, but you don't have to do it, right? Like, you might get an urge to do something, but you can say no. Right?
Yeah, it could just be like an idea.
Yeah.
Like something that might come up again later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and I realized also, back then it was a combination of fear and grief and sacral energy when I was, like, traveling, a little dysregulated.
Yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I used the word fun in one of these workshops at the studio that was like a really intense personal development one, and there was someone that had just had a spiritual awakening, and I'm like, oh, like, you're in the fun stage, and she's like, this is not fun at all, and I'm like, no, like, I don't. My first year of what I would call after my spiritual awakening was absolute hell, but what I meant by fun was there were these moments of, like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like, it was so exciting because it was new, it was novel. And I was, like, discovering and uncovering things. Like, that's what I meant by fun.
Right.
But, like, the poor thing was like, this is not fun at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not going to always be rainbows and butterflies, of course.
Right.
But that's where you have systems like human design. You find places like Maja. Like, you allow yourself to bring new opportunities into your orb.
Yeah, you can gather clues, basically.
Yeah,
to kind of find yourself on your path and, like, kind of like create your map in a way, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me how you would describe emotions before you knew about the solar plexus undefined.
I thought I had too many.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was, like, very emotional. Like, I would, like, cry at, like, the drop of a pin, or, God, I remember, like, interviewing for this one job at, like, a gym, and the guy was like, what would you say is, like, your weakness? And I was like, well, we're dealing with, like, a lot of people, so we're going to meet a lot of people, like, throughout the day, right? We're training, and, like, I wear my, like, face on my, like, you can tell what I'm thinking by, like, my face sometimes, so, like, sometimes I have to remember, like, okay, poker face Amanda. Like, if someone says something funny to you in a session and, like, you don't want to, like, make fun of them, just, like lock it in. So, like, I kind of, like, maybe show my emotions too much, I thought, before I knew this.
That also means you're embodied.
Yeah.
So that, like, so you're also bottom up versus top down.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing for the most part. Yeah. But okay, so no, this is fascinating.
Oh, also, like, I can get angry very quickly. Like,
Yeah.
I can't. Like, my kids make fun of me because, like, in that movie, Inside Out, with, like, all the characters in the brain, like, I'm that little red man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and
like,
say your cup is usually full, so it's like...
It is, yeah. And I'm very patient until I'm not. Like, you know,
Yes.
like, come on.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, as empaths, we have this insane ability to not react until it's full.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I'm not doing this anymore, and it's...
Yeah.
And then usually our partner is like, what the hell just happened? And they're terrified.
Yeah. Yes.
So, yeah. Don't worry, you didn't do anything. Well, I shouldn't say you didn't do anything wrong, but in that moment you probably didn't do anything wrong. So, okay.
Yeah.
Well, bottom up is the idea that we sense before we think logically.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, think of like sports, right?
Right.
Somebody throws you a ball, you're not thinking, oh my gosh, I have to catch that ball. No, it's like happening instantly. So they're, you know, athletes are very embodied.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They have to be.
Right.
They have to be. So especially my main mentor and teacher, he said that, you know, we are by nature bottom up, and we need to heal the physical body before the mind, right? So somatically, all of our trauma lives in our body and our fascia, and we store every unprocessed emotion, feeling, memory, experience in our bodies or our subconscious mind. Sometimes they can be interchangeable.
Yeah.
So in our modern world, we are so body, you could think right brain. And I know that right, left brain is an oversimplification, but right brain is going to be the creativity, it's going to be imagination. Left brain is going to be logic, it's going to be our culture, right? Always thinking like analytically, overanalyzing, but it's disconnected from the body, right? It's the masculine.
Yeah.
So when we are left brain, and when we have a reaction, often in our culture, it filters through our left brain or a logical brain first, and then usually just gets rejected because we aren't going to actually process it through our body because we don't have the tools or even know how to do that. So maybe we numb it or hide it or avoid it or lash out, but ultimately it's a top down, right? And that's why sometimes people will say that traditional therapy doesn't heal, because you're often just talking, right? And that's not really going to get into your nervous system. So, you know, a lot, and you can even probably think of people that, you know, don't react emotionally, somatically. Right?
Yeah.
So you're not processing it first and then reacting with your body, right?
Right.
Necessarily.
I understand.
You might be doing both, but I want to say 40% people are more bottom up, and like 60% are top down. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but it is, when you're doing this kind of work, it's so amazing to figure out, like, oh my gosh, I was never living in my body. Like, I can't believe I didn't even notice that. Like, and just different sensations, different feelings. You know, it's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, that's
So
interesting.
with feelings and emotions, it's good, and so this healing journey is great, but also sometimes it can make you more sensitive. And you will feel things in your body more easily if you're embodied, right? You'll pick up on a lot of different energies.
Yeah, definitely, I do.
Yeah, and so with you and me, we have an open solar plexus, which means that we don't have our own emotions by nature. So, you know, some people, they'll just be in a bad mood for no reason. And then they'll be in a really good mood for no reason, and they're likely emotionally defined. They're also usually, they feel more safe, they're very grounded. When people are undefined, they actually are feeling either past emotions that haven't been processed or other people's.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
the collective, or of an area, right? And and up to 600 times, right?
Oh wow.
So that's why, empaths have all these like coping mechanisms and tools, because the struggle is real if they have an undefined emotional center.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
And most people have been around that person that feels a little bit like an energy vampire. Maybe they are with them and they go home and they're just kind of like feeling icky or heavy.
Yeah.
Well, you could think of it as, they gave you their excess heavy energy, and you held on to it.
Before.
And because our solar plexus is open, it's like, come on in, like, I'll and so often we can just process it, and it's almost like we'll be neutral with it. But if we're working on our own stuff, like, we might not be resourced enough to be processing our stuff and their stuff and, your family stuff. And so you just have to be super careful that what you're feeling is yours.
Right. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons, but it's fascinating because now I know I could tell almost instantly if somebody is defined or undefined.
Yeah.
And if I've done a lot of healing work the last couple of years, but for the most part, like, my mood is just always like this, right? And I would imagine yours as well.
Yeah.
Right? But there, circumstances and other people will make the moods we do have so much more intense.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because the people that have the defined emotional centers, they know what their emotions feel like. It sucks when they're not in a good mood, and it's great when they're happy, but there's not like these surprise emotions that come out of the blue and you're like, whoa, what is that?
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I think people that resonate with that will understand completely.
Yeah, definitely. I remember I had done a lot of healing with you, and then my nervous system had felt like pretty clean, pretty calm, like, for a while, and then I had to go be around like certain people that had been like energy vampires around me for like a while after not being around them for a little while. And I got home that day and I was in horrible mood like for a couple days.
Yeah,
and
it does.
I just felt like, I think I texted you about it, and I was just like, oh my god, like, my whole family noticed. They were like, okay, well, we're not gonna do that again for a little while. I was like, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And there are things I recommend grounding. If you can get outside, put your feet in the grass or sand, or hug a tree is a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
It really
ground
is.
yourself to the earth.
It will.
Yeah.
Mother Nature loves taking away our heavy energy, or energy that's not ours. Baths with salt, not just Epsom salt. You can add the Epsom salt, but like actual salt, like sea salt would be great.
Yeah. Like
a cup, in the bath, that's going to be huge. Or if you could go to the ocean, that's even better. That's going to help our energy field. Sage is great. You just want to be careful that you're not still around that energy, because sage clears, but it doesn't replace.
Right.
So you want to make sure you always add some positive energy after that. Palo Santo can do both clear and fill. And even just like moving
like
your like they teach you this in energy healing. Tai Chi and Qigong, it's all about the energy in your field. You could do something like that, yoga, but it's probably not good. I mean, sleep is good, and hypnosis will cut cords,
right?
Because I do believe there is, most of the people that end up in my office coming to hypnosis have a very deep connection with their soul,
right?
And I do feel like they get a lot of healings when they're in trance or in hypnosis.
Yeah.
And cords, right? We have energy cords connected to people, whether we want to or not.
Yeah.
But and the goal isn't to get rid of people, places, or things, but to be neutral, right? And so what will happen is, let's say we're attracting that kind of person. Well, once we heal that wound, we're not going to attract that kind of person anymore, and they might be in our orb, but we don't even notice them, or they don't even bother us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So, because I remember, like, when I started to get, like, super sensitive, like, I would, to close family and friends, I'd be like, you don't feel that? Like, and,
right.
and like, how do you not? Like, and because it wasn't their trigger. Like, it was my wound, right? That person was poking something in me, not in them. Right. Right? So it didn't bother them.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's so interesting. Oh my gosh.
It's interesting. It makes me think of, like, why we're all here together and, like, what are the different lessons we're supposed to learn and, like, all of that and, you know, like, karma and just, like, you know, what, like, the life that we're here to live, like, together, you know. Do you think that there's certain star families that are put together here on Earth? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Well, sometimes, like, the best information is not found in mainstream books.
Yeah.
So you have to go, like, digging.
Yeah.
Or, like, word of mouth from, healers that are not advertising, on social media kind of thing. Like, but yes, I do. I mean, like, for us, for example, like, there's too many. So in many Buddhist traditions, they say everyone you come in contact with, you've had a past life with. So even if you're just at the grocery store and you're speaking to the person behind you in line, like, you have some sort of past life with them. Doesn't mean you necessarily have any karma, but the people that you have the most trouble with are going to be karmic relationships. Okay. And karma doesn't have to be good or bad, but it's something that wants to be fixed and it wants to be healed, and it's going to keep coming back. And so that they're, the saying that the people that give you the most trouble are your biggest teachers. And that's true. And then, there's moments that I was like, I don't care. I don't want to do this. Yeah. That's what's tough about it. So you don't have to. Like, you don't have to do any of this. I used to be like, oh, everyone should heal everything. I'm like, nah, if you're not called to it, don't go. Don't go opening Pandora's box. But yeah, I'm half joking. But yeah, so I think, well, in the Bhagavad Gita, they say we choose our parents, right? So I do believe that. I believe souls want to come to Earth. They call it a playground where you can act things out in a 3D way, right? So, you could think of imagine having eternal life where you're in utter bliss forever. You'd get bored. Yeah. Right? Like, I'm obviously, like, being a little flip, but you want to experience something. Yeah, you do. Right. So, souls come here, they're not like, oh my God, I hope I don't get a bad life. Yeah. Right? Okay. They're like, oh no, I'll choose that challenging life where I'm, abused and I'm, I have to suffer and I have to repeat this 800 times. I'll do it. Wow. Right. Okay. And so, in that sense, I've heard it being a place that they want to come. Right. Interesting. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that, have different theories that
makes me not feel so bad about being bad.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh yeah. No, and that's where, like, I always like to play around with free will because people get pissed when I tell them they don't have free will. Like, they don't like that at all. Yeah. And so I really do believe that we don't have free will in the way that we think we do. Right? Because who are we anyway? Right? We don't, again, back to the Buddhist philosophy, we don't exist, right? The past doesn't exist, the future doesn't exist, it's just now.
We're supposed to be here now.
Right. So the ego is, it was meant to keep us alive as humans, but, and I don't demonize it, I do think we are, fine, being an individual. I don't think everyone's path is to, become enlightened. But I do I think that there are many unconscious people that would never make the choices that they do if they were conscious and they knew what they were doing. Right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm a little bit of an idealist. Yes.
Yeah.
I do think that people are inherently good and that most people do what they do because of the ages from, or I should say in utero to 7 years old. That's when they experienced the world and how to navigate it and what's good, what's bad, what's going to keep me safe, what's going to get me loved, what's going to not.
Right.
And most of their life is built around that.
Yeah,
and
how you're going to make your choices.
We don't have to do anything. Like, we don't have to think for ourselves for a second in our modern world, right? I mean, actually, it's hard to. Like, I'm trying to get away from your phone, for more than an hour. Right? So how can we have free will if we don't know who we even are? And I sometimes even get frustrated with the word authentic, because I think authenticity is beautiful, but authentic in what way? Because we're changing every single day. We're a new person. Right? We're constantly recreating our identity. So what's authentic today might be different tomorrow and then the next day. And so, I people are always so shocked, like, how could this person do this, or how could they do that? And so I think it's what is the expression? It's simple, not easy, type of a thing.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like even now, like, everyone's been saying this recently, like, time is going by so fast, and it's just like, you don't have to, like, do what you might have thought you were doing, like, a month ago, last week, or even, like, 6 months ago, you you can just be different. Like,
yeah. Well, and back to the free will, like, I just make often a simple argument, like, why would somebody choose to be an addict, go to prison, be homeless, hurt someone, like, why?
Yeah.
And most people don't have an answer for that.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah, and it's like that theory that, like, we all wrote these, like, stories, these charts, and what they call it, the soul contract, or whatever, there's that woman, Dolores Cannon, that says that she, I don't remember what her exact experience was, but she says that she, I think, either, like, had a dream or something, that she, went and met them, and they told her all, like, the secrets of, like, the other side.
Yeah.
And, we write these soul contracts, and we come here to, like, learn things, and we go back and we have all these karmic cycles. We come here over and over and over again to, like, learn stuff.
Yeah. Well, so the playground, right?
Yes.
So there's so it's a playground so we can learn, so then we can evolve.
Right.
And again, I know I keep mentioning Buddhism, but it in some of the deep teachings it explains it. And the karmic cycles, so I always encourage people to go down the rabbit holes. Like, you're not tied to any one belief. Like, you can always change it, but and I do think people are see things differently, and maybe some of the new age stuff is woo, but I mean, are there people out there that want us to be suffering? Maybe, but they're also not separate from us in terms of oneness. Like, it's all source. But nonetheless, I still think it's really cool when, like, people talk about, like, the false matrix, or how, like, things have been around for 50 billion years. Like, it's I don't know, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, well, if there's no time, then
Right.
But I think philosophy always gave me a little bit of a headache, whereas with spirituality, I can get to a point of peace where it's like, it doesn't really matter, because I like feel very connected and in who I am, and I think that's really the key, right? So you asked how I felt about, like, the soul contracts and the lessons. Yes, I absolutely think that we have it. I mean, it might not be on paper. I don't know what they're using up there. Maybe it's the honor system, but I think there are a couple common themes, and I think one is know thyself, right? I think I wonder why people aren't curious about who they are, why they're here. Do I think about it a little too much, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I mean, to go your whole life and never wonder how you got onto this planet is another sign that your free will has been tampered with.
Mm-hmm.
That is not typical of our, even like as a human on any level.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've never. I've always thought, like, from a young age, like, how did I get here? Like, what am I doing here? Like,
I'm
that's weird. Like,
I'm like, well, who was God's mom?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like, I remember asking, like, those questions in Sunday school.
Yeah, no, I remember being a little kid thinking, like, being very little, like, probably when the veil was thin, like, well, how did I get here? And, like, why am I here with all of you?
Yes.
Like,
yes. Oh, my gosh. I had that thought, too. I mean, I was at church, and, like, I remember thinking, like, these people are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they're crazy. And it's not like anything egotistical by any, like, I'm just as crazy as, the next person in the sense of being human. But yeah, no, I think, and that's where you can kind of go into like the starseed and the light worker avenue.
Yeah.
Where, maybe there are, beings that are sent here from other places to help humanity not become extinct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't think everyone has to awaken in their lifetime.
Yeah.
So when I say know thyself, I don't mean they even have to find, the secrets of the universe, but like question, explore, like even if it, find something they enjoy doing, be it a sport, an activity, like donating, service, that is a know thyself. Yeah. Right? It's not a constant distraction or numbing or blaming or projecting. So, I think that there is a lot to be said about the authenticity. I think that's good, but I also think there's not quite enough trauma-informed social media influencers out there.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason people don't do things or do things, right? And so you can't put out these blanket statements like, one of my least favorites is like, charge what you're worth, right? And because I work with a lot of women that are working on their relationship with money and finances, and they don't have low self-esteem, right? But there's definitely a conditioning that they went through when it comes to money, and maybe they don't like being seen, and that might be in their chart. That's just not part of their life trajectory. So a lot of times, on social media, there are these, aggressive messages that are supposed to be loving. Do you ever find that?
Yeah, I do. I see these a lot, like charge what you're worth, or a lot of them even like, oh, if your friends aren't going to pay you for your appointment, like, forget them, or, your friends that don't like give you referrals aren't your friends, things like that. Even like things that aren't money wise. Yeah, I see that kind of stuff a lot, especially in the service industry. Yeah, people that run businesses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and so
I do.
That I'm sure that's why it comes up too for me, because I tell people to just forget everything that you've ever learned and don't even listen to some of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because they're simplifying something that is so complex. Money is intertwined with our safety, right? It can be everything to us, right? Like it could be life or death. Right. So to set, like to kind of minimize that it shouldn't be affecting you, and your day to day and how you work your business is not fair. Yeah,
it's not fair. Yeah, like if someone disregards like your money and like how much you make, or that it shouldn't matter, like that's rude. Yeah. Or can just like assumes like what you should do with your money and your time, like that's rude. Like that's your decision. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And it, I guess also because it reinforces the capitalist, like the more money you have, the more power you have.
Right.
And it's not everybody's working to charge a high ticket price. Right? There are many people that very much enjoy what they do. Now, yes, do healers get the short end of the stick in our society, 100%.
Yeah.
Right? They're not. We're not taken care of. There's no options for, health insurance or vacation time.
Yeah.
Like, it's just non-existent. Right?
Yeah. We actually have to pay extra taxes.
Yes. Yeah,
we
absolutely.
have to pay taxes on our we have to pay taxes on our services,
like
and then we have
double.
to pay an extra tax for being self-employed.
And then you have
you're welcome.
Yeah. and then not only that, you have to prove that you're helping people.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Because I always would laugh at that, because people would come to me after coming from the medical, providers that they spent decades trying to fix something, and it was internal, like it was a psychosomatic thing.
Yeah.
But they will question me or a healer, but those few decades that they spent doing injections and taking medicines and listening to the doctor, they never once questioned that.
Right.
But we're doing something that is so non-invasive, right?
Right.
Like, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
The way that it's backwards.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, I don't mind conspiracies, like, because I don't think anyone knows anything. But one of them is that the notion that the body can't heal itself, right? That's been instilled in us, that we need we need medicine, or we need certain, doctors, or doctors are amazing. Like, I think they're so skilled and they're talented. I'm not talking about that, but with the reductionist model, it is not allowing the body to heal itself, because our nervous systems are dysregulated.
Right.
And we don't even talk about the nervous system in the modern Western medical world.
Yeah.
It's like so frustrating, because if we're mammals and all other mammals can heal themselves, why are humans an exception?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. My grandpa actually, like, years and years ago, like, he had a small, like, lung tumor. He started, like, giving everything away. He was like, and we didn't know why. My parents, like, didn't tell me. But he started giving everything away. And then, or just, like, small trinkets to, like, his grandchildren. And then I didn't know this story till years later. But apparently he, like, made it go away, like, and the doctors were, like, fascinated.
Yeah.
He, like, just did something, meditated, or, like, just, like, willed it, like, away, and he lived for, like, many years beyond that. But he was very much like me, like, a very solid, like, man. But it's interesting, like, and, like, people don't believe that story, but...
oh, no, I mean, I 100% believe it. I mean, Joe Dispenza, he had some sort of back injury, and he does a lot with the subconscious mind, and how to transform your life. And I by no means do I ever dismiss somebody's pain or somebody's medical issues. Like, that's real.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very real, and I don't like shaming of, like, oh, well, you created that reality for yourself.
Right.
It's like, that's not here nor there, right? And I do think that our world is a lot more toxic than it used to be. So, you can't say that all cancers are emotional. Like, that's just...
yeah, absolutely not.
That's just too outrageous at this point. But I think part of why I get passionate about it is because there's so much, like, magic within us that we aren't even tapping into, because our environment is... it's a lower frequency. It's dense, right? So if we were given the tools and the space and the time, we would absolutely have these wonderful abilities. Like, we could practice them, we could use them, and it would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that if we could, like, go deeper into, like, seeing what the real powers of the mind could do, like, our society would really go further and be much more interesting. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
And there are people that talk about it, and like a couple of conspiracy theorists, and they say outrageous things, but, like, the core of a lot of their teachings are are real.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I first went to yoga training, and I met a true yogi,
mm-hmm.
right? So yoga is not just, a workout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pilates too. Just Pilates said it is the mind that moves the body. It's like a lot of people's favorite quote.
Yeah, it's the path. Yeah. It's the path to self-realization. So he had said, the yogi Alex was so insightful, and he basically said that everything that's a conspiracy has some truth to it. And I was so intrigued and fascinated. Mm-hmm. And they have cities in yoga. And do you remember the cities? I know you were trained in yoga.
I don't know.
It's like magical powers. Some of them are like crazy. Like you can shrink down and be like a little person. Yeah, like
I've heard that.
Yeah, so they're like these yogis, you can live a couple hundred years. So they used to have these like really cool magical powers, and like, who am I? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we more and more now know that there's a quantum field, and
right.
Our mind is put into a box from the moment we step into our organized institution of school, or whatever. However you're raised, and it's sent down from generation to generation, and it's like, I think it's time to break out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the other morning I had like one of those moments where I was like between sleep and awake, and I mean, it was very real,
mm-hmm.
And it's like, it makes you question. It's like, well, what matrix is this?
Right.
Am I astral projecting right now?
Yeah.
And it was a little bit scary, actually. It was a very scary place, and I literally woke myself up and was like, oh, get up now. And I woke up and was like, it was very frightening.
Oh my gosh.
And there was another time I told you about this. Someone that visited me in my dreamscape,
mm-hmm.
and I felt like that was very real.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, what are we doing here?
Right. Yes. Okay. So yes.
Are we traveling?
Right.
Where are we going? What are our souls doing? What is the mind capable of? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's very interesting. Yeah.
Yes. And so, there's entrainment. So once you meet somebody, you're forever connected
mm-hmm.
to them.
Yeah.
Right? And so, you know how you can do distance Reiki, right? You can do energy healing across the world. There's no, Einstein knew that. There's no, in that sense, there's no space.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when we talk about other dimensions and parallel realities, it can get either fun or really confusing. Depends how serious you take it, right? Because I find it sometimes can be helpful and calming. Like if I'm stuck in something, I will say, well, that's what this tarot in this reality is supposed to be going through, and I really hope that the tarot in another reality is having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that everything we can imagine, well, two things. Everything that any human could imagine is possible because it's an infinite reality. Well, and it's not even reality, it's Maya. It's an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anything that we as humans imagine for ourselves can happen, right? It just depends how much energy we give it. Mm-hmm. So if you want...
Like when we're manifesting.
Right. So,
Mm-hmm.
So if we're manifesting, and is there anything that you want? It could be like, I don't know why a tea kettle came to mind. So
sure.
if you were to think about a tea kettle over and over, well, for you, it would probably end up like in an hour, somebody would be like, here is a tea kettle. But let's just say somebody that hasn't had any practice, they're thinking about this tea kettle, and it pops up in their reality,
mm-hmm.
right? Like, how did that happen?
Right.
Like, that's bizarre. Well, it's our thoughts are an energy.
Right.
And the more we reinforce that energy, the more powerful, the faster it comes into the 3D.
Mm-hmm.
So, hypnosis is nice because I think it gives us a way to try out things we don't want.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you could think of like when you had that maybe not great experience or that feeling. Like I actually got stuck in one of my like sleep paralysis the other night, and like I did not like that at all. But when you're in hypnosis and you're consciously doing it, and you might explore like, oh, what do you want? What do you want in the future?
Right. Okay.
Right. So let's say I'm doing a hypnosis with you, and I say, okay, there's 3 options, there's 3 paths, and I want you to explore all 3 of them. Well, all 3 of them are possible, right? Whether or not, one is I'm going to win $10 million, or one is I'm, going to move to Japan. Like, whether it seems so outlandish or not, it's potential. Like, it's in the quantum field, right?
Yeah.
So, but you're not giving it much weight, right? Especially if it's something you don't like. You're just like, oh, yeah, no, I don't want that.
Okay.
So you're throwing it out. You're like, nah, I'm good. But maybe you, especially in that dream time, it's usually like what your soul wants. So like, let's just say, you want a dog. So you just keep dreaming about a dog, and you're like, oh, you start getting excited about it, and now in your reality, all these dogs are popping up in your life.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of power behind it, right?
Right. Okay.
So anytime we think something, it's a possibility in some realm, some dimension, some parallel universe.
Right.
But, and you don't have to worry about believing that, but more importantly, it's you get to choose which one you want.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, that's not even true. And let me tell you why it is true. Because in that state, you're not very ego invested.
Right.
Right? So you're not
subconscious.
Right. You're not like,
ego's
oh,
kind of put to the side.
I want to be famous and I want a mansion and I want to have, this no. Right? So very rarely are you going to really be passionate about that.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I know with The Secret, like they taught, that's like kindergarten manifestation, right?
Okay,
It's the fundamentals. But it's very egoic. It's very much like external things. I want external things.
Right.
Your soul wants purpose, meaning, mission, like quality experiences. Right. Sometimes that's things. Yeah. Sometimes it's not, right?
Right. Sometimes it's feelings.
Yeah. So, so the power is in, and so people say, oh, well, you got to put your emotion behind it. Like, sometimes, yeah. But sometimes I also just have such a deep knowing. Yeah. I'm good, and I can detach from it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. But if you are struggling to, think, oh, I don't even know what I want to manifest, that's where hypnosis would be helpful. Okay. Because you'd start to be able to try different things on. Like, say you need to buy a dress, you try on 10 different ones. And
right.
Okay.
You go into your subconscious mind. And
it's the same idea. So this way you don't have to act it out in real life.
Okay.
Right? And waste time, so to speak. Right? Because you can imagine it. Because you know yourself. Right? You know yourself so well, you know how you're going to like this or this is going to happen for the most part, right? Yeah. And so that's why it's so important to, look within.
Right. And if you can say, like, hey, this is real, we're real here, why is something in your mind not real? I mean, your brain is real. Like, you can, imagine things and, we, you and I both own our own businesses, so we create things on the computer all the time, and then we put them out into real life. So whatever you think and imagine, you can implement and put out there. Yes. So just because it's a thought first doesn't mean that it's not real.
Absolutely. It's energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Right. So we want to make sure that our thoughts are ours, because there are thought forms, right? Yeah. So there's collective thought forms that, like, I just go cancel. Like, I don't want to hear them. I don't want them, like, on me. I'm good. Right. So, you do want to discern, like, if you hang out with people that aren't the best for you, those energies can maybe pull you back into who you used to be. So just really knowing, like, what thought is this and where is it coming from? Is it my 5-year-old self? Is it my 15-year-old self? Is it my mom? Right? Is it my partner? And so that's the thing is, there's an asterisk when I say you can manifest anything you want.
Right.
Because it's anything you want when you've done the work, when you are at that point of self-realization.
Yeah.
When
you know yourself.
Your mind is clear,
mm-hmm.
right? Why does the universe not give us everything we think about?
mm-hmm.
Because could you imagine the thing that you thought of the person that cut you off?
Right.
Obviously, you don't want to hurt them, but when you were cursing at them, if, something bad happened, that wouldn't be good,
mm-hmm.
right? So we have to earn our manifestation
mm-hmm.
trust with the universe,
yeah,
right? Because it's not just gonna, egoically, if you had that kind of power, and there are people that are very much living in that ego world that could destroy things instantly, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, we don't want to make mistakes, right? Like,
mm-hmm.
say you're daydreaming about your ex or something.
Right, like you shouldn't text your ex. That's what I was just gonna say.
like you don't like if Amanda and I were just sitting here thinking about our exes, and they walked in, like that wouldn't be fun.
That would be bad.
That wouldn't be great. Or maybe we're supposed to be at a point where it wouldn't matter. But the point is, we're not quite ready for every thought to come into fruition immediately.
Right.
So they
mm-hmm.
say, like in the 5D, everything just happens instantly. And there's some truth to it.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you're super connected and you're super high vibe, it's just like everything's flowing, like, and
mm-hmm.
things are coming, and you think of that person and you hear from them and you want this and it comes.
Yep.
And that's when the universe is like, okay, they're in their true self. They can handle us sending them all the things they desire.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yeah, because I always wondered that when people say, "Oh, your thoughts, you can create anything you think, or your thoughts create your reality," and I'm like, I hope not.
Yeah. Right.
So, but that's also another way to train yourself is like, okay, I should probably stop thinking that I want that person to slip on a banana peel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So no, but no, I think manifestation is fun. I think we've been doing it forever as humans.
We have. Mm-hmm.
But I think you just also go with the flow, right? Like,
right, yeah.
If you're not manifesting something, it's probably for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's a block, but sometimes it's just not in the cards.
Yeah. Also, things that you were manifesting maybe before can come up later. Like if you, something happened to me recently earlier this year where I took a period of time where my channel was like very, very clear, and like something that I had been manifesting before popped up like very randomly. And that was weird.
And did you want it?
Yeah, but I was really, really, really surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they will often say you have to detach from it, right? Because if not, then that's egoic. Then you're desiring it.
Mm-hmm.
And the universe wants you to be whole and complete alone without anything external.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just like an added, like it's the icing on the cake when we get it.
Yeah.
But if we're sitting day in and day out, like wanting this thing, we're not, we might get it, but it's not going to be in the way that's ideal.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's like when you order something online and you forget, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah, and that's interesting because I do think we also on this path we don't always have to be tapped in.
Right.
Right. Like we can have
that's
fun.
Exactly it. Yeah.
Like, and for so long I feel like I was very ungrounded. Like I didn't come back in, and I was concerned. Like I had, when I was in California, I was so like tapped in, and my intuition was on point, and I would get images or downloads or words or whatever I needed, and then it just went silent.
Really?
And I was like, well, for a little while I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. It's so quiet.
Yeah, it's so quiet in here.
I'm like, oh, this is great. Yeah. But then I'm like, wait, how am I gonna do my job? I mean, obviously I still had, my innate intuition, but it was fascinating because like I didn't need it, right? But I also maybe relied on it too much or was too attached to it.
Yeah.
So I like we're here in the 3D for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
right? So as much as I love ascension, I do think we're supposed to have this human experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So, but all these are just my not suggestions, but my opinions.
Yeah.
I don't know, they might change in the future. So, you know, definitely my biggest suggestion for people is explore, starting with what interests you, and then go down a rabbit hole. But don't, I don't want to say don't listen to anybody, but that was something that really helped me. I just stopped listening to anyone else.
Yeah, trust yourself and be
Trust
yourself.
Yeah. And what's the worst that could happen?
Right.
You might be wrong, but guess what? We're probably all a bit wrong.
Yeah. You might find people in your life like Tara.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on the show
today.
I know. Yeah. I would
love to come back.
Yes, we'll have to do like a second parter or something.
Oh yeah.
This is just like the beginning of the rabbit hole. I feel.
I know. We didn't even get that much into the soul family and the quantum realm. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Yes, Tara, everybody. Yes.